Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. Well, hello. If you're new, just know I talk about so many different topics. Sometimes people ask me the question, what is your channel about? It's basically about everything that America slash parts of the world hate about society, being women or black or people of color or the handicap disability community. So I speak a lot on that, and especially, well, right now, a lot of people hate on the woke, liberal, progressive Democrat, and I am a proud Democrat, liberal, progressive. So I'm woke, and some people ask me, why would you do this? Because now so many people aren't going to want to listen to your channel. I want the people who want to listen to my channel. I don't want to make anyone, because I know there's some YouTubers who hide it on purpose in order to have millions of followers. But then sometimes I wonder, one day when you misstep and you kind of show what side of the political aisle you're on, it's like, don't you want to be authentic? Don't you want to be real? Don't you want people to feel I know, I forgot what they call it when people feel like they know you in a virtual way, but when people feel like they know me, I want them to at least know the genuine parts of me. And that's why, yeah, my channel is basically about either my opinion, my life, situations, or my view on important political and current events that's going on around the world. And especially, I just did an episode about how health insurance companies, or at least one of them, is trying to now not allow the amputee body parts to be included with insurance. And I just learned from someone else who is a fellow member of the disability community that the white canes for the blind is not accepted through insurance because they say it's not a need when there's quite a big reason why they're needed. But I'll talk about that in yeah, because I told her I'm gonna have to do some research and do an episode on that. And I started reading on it, and I'm shocked, and I feel like if I don't know, like, I'm not saying I know everything, but I feel like, especially if I don't know some things that I'm learning, if I can share the things that I've learned, and in a lot of episodes, if I am able to show the proof, because yeah, I'm petty, so I show screenshots, I share links of the stories that I'm talking about and stats and the numbers. It's just not like some of them are my story times are of my opinion. This is a story time episode. But when I talk about a lot of politics and things like that, tie in links and share things that show why I think the way I do. So, and especially since, well, real quick, okay, because after the whole Harry Potter author and everything started sharing her political views and everything, it's like, I'm right. I have my children's books. I am going to have my novel in a few months out and published and everything. So I'm really excited. But I want the readers to be able to know as much as they can about me, so that it's like if they read the book first and then get on YouTube, then they can understand my character. They can understand what my character has been through more, because some of my characters are going to be like in different versions of me. but they come from my heart. They come from my experience. They come from the pain, the suffering, and the situations that I have had to overcome. And that's one reason why I share my political thoughts, because especially now with that one author and her view on the LGBTQ and trans community and everything, like, especially, that hurt a lot. Like, some people were shocked, and some people, like, they had no interest in her or in her books and things anymore. And I would never want my readers to feel like I tricked them. I want them to get to know me. I want them to know if or how or what parts are they my demographic. And I want them, if when they see my channel, it's like if they are not my demographic and they see my book, they're like, oh, yeah, it's like I don't agree with her. And then they can move on to another book, get it by another book, and save themselves the time that they'll probably DNF and things like that. So, anyway, let's get into it, because, yeah, this is going to be a kind of a river of racism in a way, but also it's a combination, because I'm starting the series of Why I Broke Up with Mr. No Heart. And years later, sometimes I wonder if he even remembers the story, because a lot of people do not know what Black people, especially Black women, go through. And okay, yeah, I know Black men, I know you guys go through a lot too, but especially within Black society, I will be doing an episode on this too. Oh, we're always the joke. We're always limited. We're always told what we can't do. We're always some kind of terrible or awful stereotype. Even like throughout the last election, it's like the awful things they said about Vice President Kamala. Like the way some of the people on stage at 45's whole like rallies or whatever, calling her or telling like the audience that she needs to get back to her pimps. Yeah, I'm gonna talk all, it's like, and then like with the Little Mermaid and everything like that, it's like I'm I have a lot to talk about, because I certain people keep, especially with the LA fires right now, they keep blaming the Black community, or at least people of color, DEI, and then it's like a group of Republican boys or whatever had the nerve to say if they saw a Black pilot, they would be worried and everything. And I taught in, well, I taught K through 8 for about 4 years. And I know I did a good job. I did such a good job that other teachers were going to their students telling them to stop learning from me, or I was going to turn them white. I didn't know I had that kind of magician or magical skills. I didn't know I had all that. And then teaching in a college setting, students always second guessing me because I'm Black. And I know this because, yeah, I mentioned in the previous episode that I have up, or one of the previous, I don't know which order they're going to go up, but a student told me that it's like me being Black, he knows that I don't know as much as he does with a certain computer program. And because, like, he said it in two ways, because he said it loud enough for me to hear him the first time, but then the second time he wanted the whole class to know. So I know the second time when the whole class heard, it was, I know if you went to a Black school, I know you don't know more about this program, this computer program, than me. But yeah, this fool did not. It's funny because, oh, I educationally dragged him when I showed what I was capable of doing. I had students like, how'd you do that? Oh my gosh. And but anyway, you know what? Yeah, this was supposed to be that story time, but I'll save that for next time, because, and I'm going to deep dive in it. Like, it's going to be a 2-part series with this episode because it's the intro. Because with all of that racism, all of the drama, all of the things that I've had to face in my life, Mr. NoHeart never had my back. And for some of you guys who are new, this is the same man when he could not afford his divorce lawyer, his rent, and child support and everything like that. I was the one that was like, you know what, for his birthday, because I found out his birthday passed like a couple weeks prior, because we weren't dating yet, but we met and we were both going on hard times. So I'll say we kind of connected on like the fight for independence and life and everything like that. So, but I found out his birthday was like a few weeks ago, whatever. So I went to a grocery store and I filled up the grocery cart with a little over $200 worth of food. And because I wanted him, because he said if he didn't have enough food in the kitchen, then he wouldn't be able to get his daughters for that week. And he said that he really wanted to see his daughters. And it's like, I didn't know his daughter. Like, I didn't meet his daughters for another 4 or 5 months. It's like his daughters still don't know how much I did for him to make sure that he could take care of them. He has not, like, he would never tell them. Yeah. And it's not because of ego or pride, it's just because of spiteful hate for me. He was dating me, but he hated me. And I have tons of proof you'll hear in other episodes. But anyway. And so, yeah, his vehicle got repossessed, and then the food, and then the camping situation. He gaslit me until I was basically forced to go. And okay, when it comes to racism, especially if you're Caucasian, white, palm colored, whatever, if you're dating a black person, if you're dating a person of color, if you run into somebody who is racist, if you run into somebody who degrades those that are different than them, especially if they're degrading the same race that you're dating, if you don't have that person's back, you don't love them. You don't even like them. You don't even tolerate them. If you keep hanging out with that racist person, that bigot, that no good, you are showing that you are on the same page. You are showing that you just don't care about that person. You're going to use them. You're going to get what you want out of them, but you don't respect them, love them, appreciate them, nothing. You don't see them as the human being that they are. You don't. Because, well, his mother, a lot of you already know this, but I'm only going to do the short version. But the only reason you got into college is because you're black. And my ex was in the house. He was in the basement, and she said it loud enough so he heard her. He was playing pool with his older brother. He heard her. He came upstairs and he looked around, but did he have my back? No, he didn't. And so that's when I had to be petty. And so I had to say, well, is the only reason your son dropped out of college? Is it because he's white? I said it because I'm petty. I said it because how dare you? And I said it because he did not have my back. He just wanted, especially throughout that evening, his mom kept telling me that I needed to be like Candace Owens, And she kept trying to prove to me that there's no more racism and that I should look up to Candace Owens. Once you tell me you look up to Candace Owens, I know in my opinion, you're more than likely a bigot, and I have no interest in you. And then clear signs or proof of that, Australia wouldn't let her in, and I think 2 other countries banned her passport from entrance. So, yeah, I think that's a good enough sign to show she's not good people. But my ex's mom loved her. I talked about her in another episode, so like look back. It probably has Mr. NoHeart in the title, but I remember, I have to get to the title of this episode, because I ran into a lot, well, I ran into quite a few situations, a lot of racist situations with him, and he never had my back. He never cared. He sometimes would watch me to see what I would do. But the thing is, especially black women have a stereotype. So black women usually and that's one reason why most times I try to follow with what Mrs. Obama says: when they go low, you go high. And I wait. I'm petty. I'm the creative, patient, petty. I'm dangerous because I do it carefully and I wait. And I do it in a legal way where you can't come for me. I do it in a way where you're just like, oh my gosh, how, and then you can't think of a way to get back at me. It's fun. But anyway, so I'm trying to remember oh yeah, this is the year that 45 got into the White House. Either it's the year or the following year or the next year. But I go over to my ex's house, Mr. NoHeart's house or whatever, and it was kind of a snowy week and everything, so slush, mush or whatever. I'm exhausted. I think I was working 2 or 3 jobs at the moment, so all I knew is that I was exhausted. And he kind of had this smile or this smirk on his face, and I'm just like, okay, I have no idea what's going on. And I think it was a Thursday, but I know his oldest daughter, it's she wanted to see if I want to watch anime that weekend with her, and she went to talk and chat, so we talked and everything, but he kept looking at me funny. So finally later that night, I think they weren't in bed, so I think she was working on homework or whatever. And I know this because after he told me the story, I went back to, I think she was doing homework in the kitchen. I went back to the kitchen because I was so upset, and to show him that I did not approve of his ignorance, naiveness, bigotry. But okay, here we go. While he took a break from his video games and he looks at me. And he was like, guess what happened on Monday? I was like, did you get to go home early for Martin Luther King Day? He was like, he kind of jerked his neck back. He was like, no. And I was like, okay, so I don't know. I do not know what happened on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so there's this woman who, I think every Monday and Wednesday, she comes with her food cart and she sells different hot, maybe breakfast sandwiches or snacks or whatever she comes by to sell to the workers or whatever. And and she does this every week and stuff, but on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, she was there, and my ex, I think he was going to buy something from her, and one of them mentions that it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and her response, Oh, we only get a day. I think we need to shoot up more of these. I think she probably said black people, but yeah, I forgot which word. We need to shoot up more of them so then we can have more days off. I wonder when we're going to make that happen. But there's no more racism. Oh, yes, like if you listen to some of my episodes, you know where I get that from. Because yeah, I have had a lot of ignorant students in my life. But anyway, and he's just looking at me. He's talking like it's funny. He's talking like is there's no emotion. Like I don't know. It was just like he thought it was just regular story time. And so I responded, "What was your response? What did you say back to her?" "What do you mean, what did I say back to her?" It's like I bought my sandwich and it's like we chatted for a couple minutes and I went back to work. "So you entertained the bigot." I think I probably said racist back then, but no, she's a racist, no good bigot, in my opinion, but the cards are out. Like, yeah, her poker cards are out. And he was like, what was I going to tell her? What was I going to say? Maybe that your girlfriend is black and you don't appreciate those words, or black people are human too, or maybe, just maybe, it wasn't right how he was treated and the fact of like African American history. But then I had to remember another, like during African American month, a different year, his daughter had a project and she needed my help because yeah, he was of no help. But because he was bragging to me, it's like he bragged to me that at my school we only had 3 people that weren't white, so we never had to celebrate African American month. We never had to pay it any attention. Yeah, he laughed. And I looked at him and I'm just like, you're proud of that? You don't think that's a little ignorant? You don't think like, and he's like, there's none at the school, so what's the point? I said, you have more of a point because you guys need to learn about all Americans. You guys need to learn more about yourselves and the whitewashed history of America. And so then he kind of got upset with me. I didn't care. But all I have to say is, I, like I said weeks before, I wrote down over 40 reasons why I broke up with Mr. NoHeart. There are some things he does not realize I remembered, but some things I kept in the back of my mind because it's like if a man was ever going to, because I don't know how I want to phrase this, but when I did finally break up with him, he had the nerve to say, "So you are only going to break up with me because I couldn't pick up the phone." And I will tell you that story very soon. Actually, I think I know what day I want to do that episode. But if you're going to date someone outside your race, learn about their history, learn about them, like their race, their nationality, their culture. Appreciate and love their culture. And if someone around you has some kind of vile, like I hope if they're just plain bigot in any way, you wouldn't want to be around them. But especially if they have bigotry against the person you are dating, that's toxicity you're taking back to your your boyfriend or girlfriend. That's harmful for their mental health. How dare you? And it's like the fact that my ex had no problem telling me this story, acting like it was kind of funny. It It was disgusting. But then he would brag that he never studied or learned anything about African American Month. And then with the Black Lives Matter, that's another episode too, because that's mostly with his mom. But when I was breaking up with him and I let him know how his mom and older sister treated me and talked to me, yeah, all he said was, they're stupid. Most of my family is stupid when it comes to politics. They have no brains, but once they elect 45, before 45 got into office, it's like he would tell me, they're going to regret it. They're going to hate it. Blah, blah, blah. But look at where we are now. Look at where we are now. So, I know that I celebrated the day I broke up with him, and I'll tell that story too. But please don't date anybody that does not appreciate all of your identity, that won't want to learn about who you are. And some people might say, who cares? If they say they don't care, run. That's a red flag. Okay? Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.